In this presentation, you will be given techniques for making your LibGuides more accessible to learners with disabilities. The goal for this lesson is for you to be able to analyze your current LibGuides to determine how to make them more accessible to learners with disabilities and to be able to create LibGuides which are ADA accessible. There are two laws that pertain to making websites accessible to people who have disabilities. The first is the Americans with Disabilities Act. This act prohibits discrimination against people who have disabilities and requires that people with disabilities be given access to public services and places with reasonable accommodations. The second act, the Rehabilitation Act, further clarifies ADA regulations as applying to electronic information such as websites. Those organizations and companies that receive federal funds must comply with the Act, including universities. Reasonable accommodations include allowing people to access information and websites with assistive devices, or using different ways to convey information on the site. The assistive devices for the visually impaired include a screen reader which reads the content of the web page to the user using synthetic speech. A screen reader reads from left to right and top to bottom. It also reads text tags for pictures. It is always important to have website content well organized. It is also important to make sure the website can be navigated with a keyboard because people who are blind or have low vision tend not to use a mouse, although they may do so in some cases. A braille display provides information on the screen in the form of raised dots, and magnification software is used by people who have low vision. The assistive devices for the deaf and hard of hearing include captioning for videos and transcripts for audio recording. The assistive devices for people who have mobility impairments include specialized mouse and keyboards for those who have limited mobility, pointing devices for those who cannot use their hands, and making a website navigable by keyboard. Lastly, the assistive devices for cognitive impairment have already been mentioned, but they are used differently by people with cognitive impairments. Magnification software is used to make the content into manageable blocks of information. Viewing less information at a time is easier for cognitive processing. A screen reader reads the content of the page to the user while they are reading, which reinforces learning, especially for auditory learners. A website technique that is accommodating to people with disabilities is known as universal design. However, universal design does not just benefit those with disabilities. It allows people to have access regardless of device and also accommodates different learning styles. Principle 1 is equitable use, meaning that it is useful and marketable to everyone. For instance, you can navigate the site with a keyboard, use a screen reader or magnification software to read the contents, and the site provides captions for videos and transcripts for audio. Principle 2 is flexibility in use, which means that it allows for individual preferences and abilities. Therefore, you should be able to access the site using a cell phone or a tablet. The content should be on the page and not require the user to click on a certain button. The website allows the user to view the content at their own pace, and it is important that you do not crowd too much information in one space. Principle 3 is simple and intuitive, which means that the design is easy to understand by everyone. The design of the site needs to be consistent. The instructions need to be clearly provided, and for instructional sites, the user needs to be provided with feedback. Principle 4 is perceptible information, which means that information is communicated effectively. Therefore, designers should use multiple ways of conveying information on the site, such as caption for videos, audio for text content, and labeling pictures with text tags. Designers should use a simple and large enough font, contrast, and proximity on the page. In addition, there should not be any blinking content because it can induce seizures in some individuals, and the content should be organized in hierarchies. In addition, the URLs to links should be provided. Principle 5 is tolerance for error. This means giving a warning to the user when they make a mistake in filling out a form, or having the website make the correction to the form for the user. In addition, privacy should be maintained for the individual by displaying dots instead of sensitive information such as identification numbers or passwords. Principle 6 is low physical effort, which means the design can be used efficiently and comfortably. Examples of low physical effort for the user in the design of websites include using standardized keystrokes such as Control-P for pausing a video, and also organizing the controls on a website in a logical manner. The final principle is the size and space for approach and use. This means that the appropriate size and space is provided for approach, reach, and manipulation. In terms of websites, this means not placing previous and next buttons immediately next to one another on a page, making the content area large enough to read, and not using complicated menus such as those that disappear if you do not have the mouse directly over them. Thank you for viewing this tutorial. From this lesson, I hope that you are able to understand which assistive devices are available, the ADA regulations that apply to websites, principles of universal design, and the benefits of teaching others about universal design. Thank you.